Hello, everyone. Thank you for signing on to today's Amtrak Vacations presentation. We are now on part 3 of our American Rail series, and I'm so excited today to have you folks on to highlight the very famous, very popular Coast Starlight route. Now, my name is Jared Kettinger. I'm the host of the presentation today. And before we dive deeper into the topics, I do want to let you all know and direct you all to about the questions box that you will find on the side of the GoToWebinar platform. Some of you have already found it and have already put in some questions for me. I want to welcome you all to type in any questions you folks may have into said box at any time during the presentation. Chances are, as the presentation goes along, I will actually be answering some of those questions as the webinar occurs. But for those that I do not cover, we will answer those at the end of the presentation. We will run a Q&A. Just regarding those questions, folks, I do also want to let you know, I will not be answering questions regarding customer service specific situations. Those can, of course, be covered over the phone with our customer service department. You'll find the phone number to our hotline right on the screen. And also regarding the pricing or specific itineraries, those just the same can be covered with our sales team. Now, I do want to ask you folks to be as interactive and as energetic, hopefully as we have on the previous webinar today. The attendees were quite interactive. So I may ask you some questions, I may gauge your responses, and just as similarly, you can write your responses into the questions box on the side of the GoToWebinar platform, and I will see those in real time. So what will we overall cover today? Number one, we will be highlighting some very important things for you folks to know about planning and what to know ahead when thinking about traveling by train. As a part of our highlight of the Coast Starlight, we will also be talking about some great itineraries and extremely popular destinations for you to consider for your next rail vacation, many of which are right along the Coast Starlight route. We'll also be talking about how to route your vacation from your most local hometown and most local Amtrak station. And we will highlight a limited time offer that is running right now. So for those of you who are new to us, I want to let you know that we are Amtrak Vacations. Of course, that is the host brand of the presentation today. But what you might also not know is that we are also rail bookers here, folks. So what is an Amtrak rail vacation? What is a rail booker's rail holiday? Well, simply put, here at Amtrak Vacations and Rail Bookers, we plan vacations or holidays where we bundle the rail travel itself with Amtrak here in the contiguous and domestic United States, or rail bookers with the rail systems in Europe and in Canada and Australia and Africa and Asia, and take those wonderful, scenic, relaxing, and exciting and encouraging rail experiences and bundle them and organize them and plan them with the vacation packages, the hotels, the sightseeing, attractions, admissions, all of the above incorporated as a package for your convenience. Now, where can you travel to by train? And just as simply a question, where can you travel from by train? Well, on this map popping up, folks, everywhere you are seeing a bright red line, just know that is a route that Amtrak travels on. And we get a lot of questions. Well, what are the green lines? The green lines are Amtrak contracted or partner motor coach bus lines. Simple as that. Now, the red line's important. Like I said, those are the rail routes. The stars on the map, those are destinations or indications of destinations where we bundle and package the hotels sightseeing, and attractions, like I mentioned, along with the Amtrak Rail Experience. And the little white dots on the map, those are indicating train stations, of which Amtrak has 500 stations in 46 of the 48 contiguous states that it can connect and travel through. So, whether you are looking to depart from a major hub station, by the way, Amtrak's major main hub is from Chicago outwards, but you could also be coming from a New York or a New Orleans or a Los Angeles or a Seattle, some big, big stations. But you could also be coming from St. Cloud, Minnesota or Hutchinson, Kansas. You could be coming from Charlotte, North Carolina. You could be coming from Austin, Texas. And just so you know, folks, we can organize and plan and, in its own way, customize these packages to start from those stations and those departure points and even go round trip so that you start and return to and in those stations as well. Simple as that. So, what options are available with Amtrak Vacations? And also, I want to highlight, how can you customize your packages? Well, of course, we include your hotel stay as a part of the package because when you take a train to a destination, you're going to have to stay somewhere. And guess what, folks? We actually allow you to choose where you stay. With those, so a lot of those other vacation companies, particularly the ones with the group motor coach tours, you stay in the hotels they've selected. Well, we allow you to choose from a menu of hotel properties at 3, 4, and 5-star levels. And when you're deciding on a package, you might want to change it or customize it additionally, such as adding on extra nights. Maybe there's 2 nights designated in the package, but you want to expand it to 3 or 4 nights or more. Or perhaps you want to decrease the stay. That's fine. And as I mentioned before, we can route you to start and end the trip at your most closest hometown station. Also, we can upgrade your rail tickets from coach class to a business seat if applicable, or a first class seat if applicable, and even sleeping cabin accommodations. I'm willing to bet that the majority of folks on this webinar right now were interested or interested in learning about the sleeper cabins and what goes along with that. We will be highlighting those momentarily. And we always include sightseeing and attractions and excursions within the package because just as you're not just going to take a train to somewhere and just hang out, you're going to need a place to stay. Example, we booked the hotel in. Well, you're not just going to take a train somewhere, check into a hotel, and that's the end of your vacation. You're going to want to sightsee and explore. Well, we always include such great admissions wherever you're staying. And if there are specific places and things you want to see and do, please let us know. So, I did this poll or the survey on the last webinar, and I'm always interested to see people's responses. So, respond to my question, my next question, with a simple yes or no answer into the questions box. Who here was aware, yes or no, prior to this webinar, that Amtrak Vacations and Rail Bookers, because we are one and the same here, does the full vacation packages with the hotels, with the sightseeing, with the attractions? Who here was aware prior to this webinar, yes, they did know, or no, they did not know? Wow. I have to say, it is an overwhelming yes to that question. We are 90% yeses to 10% no's. So that is very interesting. On the last webinar, it was a 70 to 30% split. This has been a 90 to 10%. So for those who did know, thank you for your past experience traveling with us. Thank you for your past attendance to our webinars. Thank you for returning. And those who did not know, now you do. So a recap on why travelers love Amtrak Vacations, some extended reasons, and not just Amtrak Vacations, but Rail Bookers. So first and foremost, when you are organizing, planning, and booking a trip, you're going to be working over the phone with an Amtrak Vacations or Rail Bookers representative that has expert rail knowledge. They know the rail. And that's important because depending on where you're going, when you're going, those specific rail lines you're traveling on might depart once a day. They might depart 10 to 15 times a day, or they might depart only 3 times a week. So we can help you organize and plan that scheduling. Also, you may have a whole plethora of destinations that you want to go to and visit on one trip. You may want to go from East Coast to West. You may want to go to multiple national parks. You may want to go to multiple US cities. Same thing throughout Europe and Canada and wherever. We can help organize the best routing and schedule for you. And we can help you organize, plan, and book to travel from today. And by today, I mean last minute travel or travel before the end of 2021 to as far out as 2023. So next question, and for the polls, for the survey, again, put your answer into the questions box on the side of the GoToWebinar platform. When would you be planning on traveling next? 2021, 2022, or 2023? Let's see what the responses are. All right, so right now we are at 80% folks that want to travel in 2022, with, I would say, about 15% wanting 23, and only a very small amount, about a smidgen of 5%, wanting to travel before the end of the year. Very interesting breakdown. Well, good news, folks, we can help you with all of the above. And we have a maximum flexibility of when and where you can actually travel. Because again, I'm willing to bet that there are attendees to this webinar that can only travel at certain points of the year, whether that be due to their work schedule and when they are regularly able to take time off or not, if they have seasonal travel or none, or because of family reasons or whatever it may be. Or perhaps you can only have select days off or whatever it may be. Now, with cruises and escorted motor coach travel, they have certain departure dates. We do not. Essentially, as we like to say here, we can send you to pretty much almost any destination for any length of time, whenever you like to go and whatever date you'd like to go. Simply put, is that if the trains are running there and the destination is open and available, so are we. And because we are Amtrak Vacations and Rail Bookers, because we can send you across the United States, across Europe, if you want to stick in one country, maybe you want to go and stay within the borders of Italy or Ireland or Scotland or France, or perhaps you're looking to stay within the borders of the United States. Maybe you want to go to the US national parks. Maybe you want to go from major city to major city. Maybe you are extending a stay in Europe after a Mediterranean or river cruise, or simply you're just looking to go to the next town over. Because we are Amtrak Vacations and Rail Bookers, because we have so many different selections of destinations and packages to choose from, we like to say we have the largest rail vacation selection worldwide, and no rail trip is too complicated for us. And a friendly reminder that whether you are planning to travel from today or last minute to as far out as 2023, the earliest you book it, the reason I said that twice, is the cheapest you're going to get it. So if you are looking to save, as we all are when planning travel, do not wait till close in to plan and book. Especially, for instance, if you want a sleeper cabin on board the train, because As space and availability diminishes, price rises. Simple as that. And why consider planning to book now? Well, in addition to just the general and maximum flexibility of when you can go and where you can go, we are currently offering and extending our maximum flexibility in terms of no fees, whether it's for changing or cancellation, no fees, no penalties will be incurred on any new reservations booked through January 4th of obviously of 2022. So again, it's a little sheen of extra security so that, Lord forbid, something like changing of dates or cancellations, whatever it may be, comes about, you will incur no change or cancellation fees. And we have also extended our current flash sale offer where you and yours can save up to $350 off per couple. Now, for the specifics and where it's reflective of the discounts, give us a call. The phone number you will find right front and center on the screen, and talk with an Amtrak Vacations consultant to put together your next trip. So how should you plan on packing for the train and even preparing how to travel by the train? Well, number one, you are allowed 2 free carry-ons per person, as well as 2 check bags per person. And luggage can be checked in as close in as 45 minutes ahead of time. And that goes right along with what we suggest getting to the train station itself, which is roughly an hour ahead of time. So first off, I always like to point out what airline provider will allow you to bring 4 pieces of luggage or bags per person with pretty much no cost to it. That's first and foremost. I'm already have a bunch of answers. No one, or I don't know of anyone that's already come into the questions box. That was rhetorical anyways. Also, imagine how easy it is to board and comfortably board a train. You don't have to be there an hour and a half or 2 hours or 3 hours early like you have to be at the airports for the airlines. Again, you can check your luggage 45 minutes ahead of time, board the train, roughly 15 minutes ahead of time, half hour ahead of time, and even just get to the station an hour ahead of time. So simple, so easy. So what is it like on board? Well, popping up right now is an example of what it's like in coach accommodations, which are 2 big plush comfy seats. If you're like me, I'm constantly in fear of the of middle seats, pesky middle seats on airlines, which is not applicable on Amtrak, which is a saving grace for me. Just 2 big plush comfy seats. The seats themselves recline at a 45-degree angle with a leg rest that'll kick up if somebody wants. Plenty of leg room to begin with anyways. A tray table that will fold down for drinks, snacks, to hold devices, outlets to charge said devices, plenty of room above head for luggage storage, and as I like to refer to it, the big picture window, or the window on the world, because that is the key asset and aspect of traveling on board Amtrak. The idea that as you're relaxing, as the train is rolling by or through a major US city, or up along the coast, whether it's the East Coast or the West Coast, which we'll highlight in a moment on the Coast Starlight, going through the Sierra Nevada mountain range or the Colorado Rockies, you should have your own window on the world right from your seat as the train is rolling through. Now, I do want to highlight before we dive in, all travelers, passengers and staff alike through and for Amtrak must wear a facial covering. That's just the way it is. Everybody, whether you're traveling as a passenger or as a staff member, when going throughout the stations and on board the train, has to wear a facial covering. So you can imagine these folks or the folks in the previous slide picture wearing masks. I do want to say a vaccination is not required to travel as a passenger on Amtrak. Vaccinations are required by the staff members That is Amtrak's policy, but a vaccination is not required to travel, just a coverage. But there are some important things to know about private sleeping accommodations. First and foremost, priority separate boarding onto the train ahead of the general admission. In addition to that, the idea that you can board the train ahead of the coach seating, that's the majority of the people on the train anyways, that's convenient. You can go in and rest and secure yourself and settle yourself ahead of everyone else. Also, we are able to add what's known as red cap assistance to your ticket manifest. Now, what is red cap assistance? That can be many things. It's particularly prevalent in the larger stations, but some of the regular size stations in smaller stations have it too. It's where the Amtrak staff members will help you, whether it be directing you or walking you to the train or the platform, getting throughout the station. They can help you with your luggage. If you have some mobility issues and you're requiring assistance with a wheelchair or even through the large stations, a people mover, that can all be added on, and there is no cost to it, though we do advise tipping the folks for their effort. By the way, Anne just responded saying, Los Angeles Union Station red caps are amazing. Thank you, Anne. I think so too. They're great people. They are very, very helpful. And again, this can be added at no additional cost to yourself. Just let us know. And for those that are traveling with sleeper cabins, you, of course, have a dedicated cabin car attendant, and their jobs are aplenty. First and foremost, they will, as the slide suggests, provide the included toiletries as well as bottled water and coffee. They will serve as a level of security for your cabin car, making sure there's no riffraff and nothing going on. They will also make sure things are clean and ship shape, and in Bristol fashion, cleaning things upwards, sideways, downwards, and back again. They will also help fold everything down in the evening time to bedding accommodations. So if during the day it's seating, during the night it's bedding, they will take care of that for you. And more often than not, they will come knock on your door as you're traveling and say, hello, Ms., hello, sir. In a few minutes, you're going to be wanting to look out your window on the left side or the right side of the train as we roll through or past XYZ beautiful scenery or historic location or what have you. Simple as that. Of course, the cabins themselves come with sliding privacy doors, which lock from the inside. And the privacy doors are great, of course, to shut the door, be in your own travel bubble, be in your own time away from the world. The other good thing, and we have many questions regarding this, is once your cabin door is shut and you are within your proverbial travel bubble, those required facial coverings, those required masks can, yes, be removed. So as long as you are in your own bubble with the door shut, that is completely fine. And as was always an option, and is the meals themselves, folks, are included within the overall cost of said cabins. The meals can be provided right to your private sleeper. So if you do not want to go to some of the open areas for your meals, they can be provided right to the sleeper by your car attendants. And Janice on the presentation commented, we have had some amazing car attendants on our Amtrak travels. Thank you, Janice. I agree with you 100%. And so one of their other jobs is providing their meals, or here's the other thing, taking down your reservation for your meal in the traditional dining cars, which have returned to the majority of the scenic long distance routes. So we are very excited about it. They have returned in their fashion, the traditional dining cars. They've returned on the routes, the Coast Starlight, which we will be highlighting. I'm excited about that. The ever popular California Zephyr, the Empire Builder, the Southwest Chief, and areas of the Sunset Limited and Texas Eagle routes as well. So the meals will be cooked to order with the cooking staff and the head chef with a full menu of options to choose from for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. At dinner, we have some great hors d'oeuvres complimentary, as well as a complimentary first adult beverage to be enjoyed as well at your order. The traditional older style cutlery and tablecloths have also returned. So it is a very exciting returning back to normal to a degree. We're all very happy about it. Let's see. And respond again, I really recommend the dining cars. I've met great people doing the dining car thing. And so another great endorsement. And I do want to highlight that we have, as it's chef inspired, many chef inspired new items on the menu to order from. But we have some fan favorites, such as the quote unquote railroad or choo choo French toast for breakfast, and returning the famous Amtrak signature steak as well. Popping up now is a photo of the roomette during the day. During the day is two big plush comfy seats. The seats themselves are facing each other and directly next to the big picture window. There's a tray table that will fold out, little areas, cups for holding beverages, and you can see very clearly everything folds down in the evening time to bunk style sleeping. I know I'm going to get some questions about this in a moment. Every single cabin is bunk style. From roomette to bedroom to ADA room to family bedroom, they're all bunk style, no matter what. This next slide, I always like to kind of take a moment and say one of the key asset specs and assets of traveling by train is the leisurely, go at your own pace experience. And so whether it is having a nap during the day, as the bedding, of course, can be folded down during the day at your request. Whether that is relaxing and cracking that thick book with the doors shut, curtains drawn for privacy, your own bubble, and traveling and time away from the world, time away from the news and social media and the hustle and bustle of daily life and work and family. That is the great reason to travel on board the train. Like you see, this young lady cracking a thick book, relaxing, enjoying the scenery, going leisurely. Here is the diagram of the roomette blown up. It does list the private restroom access and private shower access in the car. So they are shared with those in the train car, that specific sleeping cabin train car. They're not shared with the rest or general access of the train. Important to note. I did have a comment from Albert that said, Albert, I am 6'6" tall, and I slept comfortably in a roomette on the Texas Eagle. Albert, thank you. I am not that tall. I am 5'5" on a good day. However, I have traveled in and shared a roomette with someone who is 6'4", and they too slept very comfortably in their bed in the roomette. And so there is a good amount of the bedding space for those who are taller. If we have folks that are saying, well, I don't want to share a restroom, that is fine. You can always request to have a bedroom, which is the bigger of those types of cabins. During the day, they have a long couch, big captain's chair. It's more space and bigger to begin with anyways. At night, everything still does fold down to bunk style sleeping. But as you can see, with the door to the left there and the bunk folded out, everything does fold down to bunk style sleeping, but it has its own private bathroom and shower within the cabin itself. And you can see, as listed here on this slide, the in-room shower, in-room restroom. There you go. If you or yours or anyone you know would like to travel on board the train, and they travel with ADA accessible needs and requests. We, of course, have ADA accessible bedrooms. They are on the lower level of the train. They can accommodate those that will travel with a walker or a wheelchair that might have mobility issues, might have difficulty climbing up to the top level of the train car. I do want to highlight it is still bunk style sleeping. So if they are traveling with a companion, it is pretty much assumed that that companion can get up to that top bunk, but those ADA accessible rooms are available. So let's talk about the subject of the day beyond the nitty gritty and minutia of traveling on board the train. Let's talk about the Coast Starlight itself. So where does the Coast Starlight run, for those of you who might not know? It runs, as you see indicated there, from Los Angeles to Seattle, Washington. Along the way, it travels up the western coast of the USA, along California, Oregon, and then Washington State itself. And let me tell you, folks, I have traveled far and wide with Amtrak. I've been on many, many rail lines. The Coast Starlight is arguably my favorite and one of the general riders' fan favorites. This itinerary, the Coast Starlight Rail Experience, starts off in Los Angeles, as I highlighted before. This includes 2 nights hotel accommodations, and again, we allow you to pick where you stay. So wherever in the greater LA area, which is quite a sprawling city, that you're looking to stay, and whatever level of hotel, 3, 4, and 5 star, we can accommodate you. And we also include sightseeing and attraction admission. In this case, a hop-on, hop-off tour, which is one of those big double-decker open-top buses that allow you, as its name would suggest, to hop on and hop off at the major attractions all around the city. So whether you're looking to head out into Hollywood to see the Hollywood sign, or up into the hills, whether you're looking down to go down to Santa Monica Boulevard, head out to the Chinese Theater or the Walk of Fame, we can get you there. From there, you will board the Coast Starlight for your ride up along the coast of California, Oregon, and Washington. And it is so relaxing, folks, to see the waves crashing along the Pacific Ocean as the train makes its headway. And it's a nice, beautiful ride during the day along the ocean. You can see the folks relaxing there in the dome car. Yes, folks, there is the dome car, the big dome with the windows that curve all the way up to the roof. And you can stretch out and relax. One of the big highlights for me was seeing dolphins breaching the water along the crashing waves. I saw baby otters swimming and floating along the waves as well. It was really magical and majestic. It was quite the experience. This itinerary itself will eventually head and arrive into Seattle. It should be noted that the regular departure point is 10 a.m. from Los Angeles, arriving into Seattle at 8 p.m. approximately the following evening, the next evening. So it is a full day's, almost 2 days worth of travel. Upon arriving in Seattle, you'll have a couple of nights stay there, of course. And we give you admission tickets to the Space Needle and the local Chihuly Garden and Glass exhibition at the Space Needle, as well as some other great museum and attraction admissions along the way. Now, folks, a brief little education piece. Whenever you see a map for an itinerary, whether it's on the Amtrak Vacations website or in a brochure or in a webinar, wherever there's a bubble with a number indicator in it, that will let you know the amount of overnights or hotel nights stay at a destination. So you can see it's 2 nights in Los Angeles, 2 nights in Seattle. Wherever you see a red arrow with a number in it, that indicates the amount of overnights on board the train. Pretty easy and simple to read. Next up, we have the Pacific Northwest itinerary that goes from San Francisco and the Bay Area with a stay there to Portland, Oregon, to Seattle, Washington, all wrapped together on one itinerary. During the night stay in San Francisco, we have multiple places for you to choose from, whether you would like to stay more down on the Fisherman's Wharf area or in the San Francisco City Center. We have plenty of sightseeing opportunities. There's plenty to do in San Francisco, whether it is the hop on, hop off experience, traveling throughout the city, going to Chinatown and the Fisherman's Wharf area, seeing the beautiful painted ladies as featured here, going through the Haight-Ashbury district, or even riding over the Golden Gate Bridge. 2, heading out to Yosemite National Park. We can include a guided day tour from San Francisco out to Yosemite and back. We include a tour for a guided experience out to the Muir Woods with a bay cruise by way of Sausalito. And so many different other options to choose from, including winery tours and other extended options. So please let us know what you're trying to do and visit and see. We will accommodate you. From there, you will head on up into Portland for a few nights stay in Portland. Portland itself is a great foodie city, very exciting. We have some museum admissions. If you're simply looking to just explore around, we have options for that as well. And one of the reasons I love the Coast Starlight so much is that there's other aspects you might not think about naturally about this route. Everybody, and as they should, tends to focus on the ride, as its name would suggest, along the Pacific coastline, which is majestic, which is beautiful, which is relaxing. And one of the big highlights is that there are areas that the train rolls along that you will enjoy seeing from the window of the train that you would not be able to experience by way of a car just driving up to it. There are some areas that are completely untouched that you would theoretically have to hike to. But some of the other overlooked aspects is that you will at points be traveling along some of the groves and farm areas of California, some of the heavily wooded areas of Northern California, the Cascade mountain range, all on one route itself. This particular itinerary will end in Seattle for a few nights stay in Seattle. And here you can see the inclusions here. 2 nights in each city, and overnight connecting San Francisco to Portland, and plenty to sightsee along the way. Then last but certainly not least for our itinerary options, and folks, I just want to let you know, these are just a small handful of samples of so many options to pick and choose from. Just letting you know. This is the Grand National Parks featuring Yellowstone, Yosemite, and the Glacier National Park, rather. Though we have some that will go to the Grand Canyon if you want to include that too. But this one, Yellowstone, Yosemite, and Glacier National Park, all on one itinerary. So question for you folks, does anybody on here would have any excitement or would like to visit multiple national parks all on one vacation? If that is something you are looking to do, the train is one way to connect you. I just got like several dozen yeses all pop up. So I know I'm speaking to the right crowd. This itinerary starts in Chicago, which is the major hub of Amtrak. I like the response from Beverly, which says, sure, count me in. You're counted in, Beverly. Maureen just said Glacier, Yellowstone, Tetons. Sure, Maureen, we can connect that. Now, this one starts in Chicago. That is the major hub of Amtrak. But we can always connect you to your most local hometown station, remember. So even if it suggests or has a starting off point like a Chicago or a New York or a Los Angeles, wherever it may be, just know we can get you started from how many different Amtrak stations? Does anybody remember how many Amtrak stations we connect through? I mentioned it earlier on in the presentation. John Bishop got it first. John, I probably butchered your last name. Sally got it second. Susan got it second. Donna got it. Lauren got it. Ann got it. Pat got it. 500 or 500 plus. So even if it's showing a starting off point, we can get you going from a station of 500 for you. Now, this itinerary starts in Chicago, goes overnight on board the California Zephyr, which will connect out to Salt Lake City. Folks, I do want to let you know that while there are 500 different stations and there are many, many options for Amtrak vacations destinations to choose from, not every train route touches every possible destination. However, for example, Yellowstone National Park. There's no train to Yellowstone. Well, guess what? We make it simple and easy by having the train connect through Salt Lake City, where there is a train station, where we will either connect you by way of a scenic motor coach transfer service or a rental car to get you up into Yellowstone National Park, where you will have a hotel stay in the Yellowstone area with a full day guided tour of America's first established national park. From there, you will take the train out to San Francisco, where you will do a few nights stay in San Francisco as a jumping off point to Yosemite. So there's no train to Yellowstone, and there's no real regular way to connect to Yosemite. So we send you to Salt Lake City, and we will connect you out to Yellowstone. We will send you to San Francisco to connect you by a full day tour through Yosemite National Park. And then you will take the Coast Starlight up along the Bay Area through Northern California, through Oregon, and eventually ending in Washington, where you will do a few night stay at your leisure in Seattle, and then connect into Glacier National Park, which is Amtrak Vacations' #1 selling destination. We will have you stay at the Glacier Park Lodge at the eastern end of the park. We include a full day guided tour known as the Big Sky Circle Tour along the package, which are done in those historic open top red buses. You can see the photo of that right there, as well as a boat cruise included. So that, folks, is the Grand National Parks itinerary with Yellowstone, Yosemite, and Glacier National Park. We have alternative options that will go through the Grand Canyon, some combination of the 2 or 3. We did have a question, and I normally reserve questions till the end, but I will answer this now. Is Yellowstone doable in winter? Yes, it is. Simple yes to that question. So, discounts. Well, children aged 2 to 12 receive a 50% discount off the base rail ticket package. Seniors 65 and over receive a 10% discount off the base rail ticket package. And then any active military personnel, the spouses and dependents of said personnel, and then veterans of any age will receive a 10% discount off the base rail ticket of the package. I know someone on this webinar is typing in the question now. Unfortunately, there's no double dipping. So if you happen to be a senior and a veteran, it's unfortunately not 20% off, it's one or the other. Some upcoming webinars of note. On the 2nd of November, we'll be highlighting top 7 tips for the long distance type of rail travel. And on the 9th of November, we will be heading into our National Park series and highlighting the many national parks that you can visit by way of Amtrak Vacations. Some of you have already typed in where and how you would like to go, but I'm always interested to know what destinations you yourself are considering for your next rail vacation. And at this point, it is now time for the Q&A, questions and answer session. For those of you who have not typed in your questions yet, feel free to do so. If you already have and we haven't covered them, I will start answering in them now. I do like to see that people are putting in New York to Chicago to the Grand Canyon and back, West Coast to East Coast. Glacier National Park is their next destination they want to go to. Niagara Falls, if you can get me there. We will get you there. Glacier National Park, awesome. Niagara Falls, as soon as possible is next week. San Diego to Niagara Falls, that's an itinerary right there. Awesome. So I will try and answer some questions now. And again, I am not going to answer any questions about specific customer service, specific situations. Say that 5 times fast. And nothing regarding specific requested itinerary options and pricing. That all can be covered. Our hotline is right there on the phone, right there on the screen. Pick up the phone. Simple as that. Can the trip up the California coast be made round trip? Absolutely. I have XYZ amount of Amtrak guest rewards points. Can I use them? No. We can help you accrue or earn Amtrak guest rewards points and put your guest rewards number on your rail reservation. As of now, we are not able to utilize those points towards the trip. Whether that will change in the future, we are all hoping maybe it will soon or someday soon. As for right now, we can help you earn and accrue the points, but we cannot utilize them. Someone asked a question, when did Amtrak and rail bookers join together? Amtrak is Amtrak itself. We are Amtrak Vacations. Amtrak Vacations and rail bookers are one company. And we have been in partnership and with rail bookers. Rail bookers has been with our brand for about 5 or 6 years now. So it's been a good while. Where can we find that the options of the hotels for various cities to pick from? Simply just chat with an Amtrak Vacations consultant. They will give you ask them what some of the options are for the hotels in the destinations, and that way you can pick and choose. As for the excursions and sightseeing tours for those who might have mobility impairments or may travel with a walker or wheelchair, please let us know that as we are working together to create a quote and work up an option for you, because we will check to make sure that either it's not a strenuous itinerary or tour, or to double, triple check if they can accommodate a walker wheelchair, whether it's keeping it in place or putting it in storage as they travel. Just let us know that. We largely don't have issues with that. We are largely able to accommodate many and most, but of course we want to make sure to plan ahead of time and let you know if it's one way or the other. Glad to know lots of people are looking to go in 2022. We're very happy about that. Let's see. Are you allowed to sleep in the dome car at night? You are not. The dome car does have specific hours. They are very wide ranging hours, but you are not able to sleep in the dome car at night. So in terms of where you can stop over on the Coast Starlight and get off, or can you only choose one itinerary, or can you customize it? We are able to rework, customize itineraries, build new ones, especially along the Coast Starlight to fit your needs and requests. Whether it's booking the rail pieces separately or organizing it together, give us a call. The phone number's there. You can chat with our friendly vacation consultants. They can work up your specific requested trip. By the way, John, I do see that it was pronounced Bishop for your last name. I do apologize for butchering that. My bad. Is temperature control allowed in the cabins? Yes. Electrical outlets in the cabins? Yes. Wi-Fi is available on some trains, not all. Hopefully, as time goes on, we will get that added sooner rather than later. Um, there are portions as it's traveling that is daytime. There are portions traveling that's nighttime. That does not matter which train you are on, unless you are on a regional train that, of course, only travels during the day or daylight hours. If you are traveling overnight, there are areas that, of course, are dark overnight. When and how and where, that, of course, we'll go over with you depending on your itinerary. Are there family bedrooms on the Coast Starlight? Simple answer is yes. Can you describe the rail and sail itineraries? Yes. Amtrak Vacations has a partnership with Norwegian Cruise Line where we have the availability on the cruises for the Alaskan cruise itineraries. Our rail and sails will have packages where we will book you onto that cruise as a part of the package. But first or after, depending on your request, we will bundle it together with the hotel stay in Seattle or Vancouver, depending on its departure port, with the rail travel, either on the Empire Builder or the Coast Starlight for the ride to that departure point. I've gotten multiple questions to go over the vaccine mandate. There is no vaccine mandate for passengers on board Amtrak. The staff members are required to be vaccinated. Simply put, the passengers are not. We do suggest getting tested for COVID before going on your trip. Not planning your trip, but going on your trip. That way you know you're fine, you know when you travel everybody else is fine. But there is no mandate for a vaccine, simply put. Let's see. May we extend our Coast Starlight itinerary to include a visit to Glacier National Park? Yes, absolutely. Let's see. Please describe the family bedroom setup. So it is for 2 adults and 2 small children. Now, I am 30 plus years old. My father and mother who are in their 60s will always view me as their child, as I am, but I am not 4 or 5 years old. So I do want to let you folks know that when I say 2 adults and 2 children, I mean small children, because in the bedding, which there's 2 beds for adults, 2 beds for small kids, they are smaller beds. There is no bathrooms in the family bedroom, but they are wide enough to accommodate 4 people with the appropriate amount of seating during the day. Are the guided tours included private or as a part of larger groups? It really depends. 9 times out of 10, they will be a part of an additional group of people going along, unless we have an overabundance of Amtrak Vacations specific travelers that day. Now, that is for the specific daily sightseeing, whether that's a day trip to Yosemite, whether that is a hop on, hop off tour. These are individual travel packages. You are not going to be with a group the entire time over the course of your trip. Simple as that. All right. I know I did not answer everybody's question today. I do apologize. We are running out of time. There are several hundred people on the webinar. Several people, several hundred questions that people have asked. Feel free to give us a call at 1-800-268-7252. I look forward to having you folks on another webinar soon, and I thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great day.